Right, we are live. Hey guys, how's it going? Welcome back to the Kiwi Lads channel. We are here for the second day of the SYDNEY Sevens, and this one is going to be a massive clash to start us off on the channel for the day. Samoa taking on the USA, both sides getting themselves nice wins yesterday, but now it's all about building momentum. We're going to see the Irish beat Spain in their contest, which now means that whoever wins this game theoretically should almost make it to the quarterfinals. I say almost because this group is so tough. You have got Ireland, Spain, and then also these two sides in the contest as well. But Samoa getting themselves a hard-fought victory over the Irish yesterday. The USA having a relatively comfortable win up against the Spanish, although Spain were able to bring it back a little bit, getting that points differential down, which can sometimes be the difference between making it through and missing out. But I hope you guys are all doing well. We have got Jason in the chat, also Tamanui, also Tala, and Emmanuel is in the chat as well. But this game, I think it's going to be close. We saw the USA make it right through to the semi-finals last week, whereas Samoa, they got knocked out just a little bit earlier. They finished ninth in the Hamilton Sevens. They'll be looking to improve. And after that first game, and also the return of Malani Matavao, I think they certainly have got that potential. And also, Tracy has said how long we up. I was actually up later than I wanted to be. I was up till about maybe 4:15, 4:30 a.m. Woke up at 10, getting ready to go to cricket. At the moment, it's drizzling, so I'm not too sure how much cricket we're going to get in today, but hopefully it's going to be not too bad indeed. So we have got this first live stream, then we will be back for the quarterfinals just a little bit later on. But Spain versus Ireland is still taking place. It is just about to come to a close, which does mean that Samoa versus the USA is about to take place. Looking through at the starting lineups. First of all, we will look at the USA. Steve Thomas-Seen, Joe Schroeder, David Still. Didn't touch the ball too much in that first game, but when he did, was able to score himself a try. Kevon Williams, Marcus Tupuola, Ben Brazil, and also Malachi Esdale, the last man in that starting USA lineup. Looking through at Samoa, Va'a Pilomaleko, Valvasa Apasua, two co-captains that will both be looking to have a big impact here. Unfortunately for Valvasa Apasua, that first game up against the Irish, he probably had his worst game he's had in a very long time. So hopefully he comes back on day two refreshed, ready to go for another contest. And yeah, hopefully he does go just that little bit better. Motu Opitai, Paul Scanlon, Tuna Tuitama, Fa'afoi Palaniko, and also Noele Letufia, the last man in that Samoan starting lineup. I should mention they've got an extremely strong bench here for Samoa. They've got Malani Matavao, Poeti Slater, Levi Milford, Owen Nui, and also Noeli Vaia. So certainly packing a punch late in this contest, which could be important because the extra pace that we may see from the USA off their bench, including this man, Perry Baker. He is always quick. He's still scoring tries, even though he's a veteran of this USA side. And some people think that he's getting close to the closing of his Sevens career. He's still running in plenty of tries for the United States. But that's going to be a last-minute try for Harry McNulty, so that helps increase the points differential. Have you ever met a rugby player, says Tamanui? Not sure. Rugby player... I don't think I've talked to one other than Glenn Maxwell, or not Glenn Maxwell, sorry, Norm Maxwell. In terms of, I've talked to him online, but I haven't met him in real life, which I assume is what you're asking. But yeah, we've talked to Norm Maxwell, ex-All Black, online. And also last night was really nice. There's Brandon in there as well. So that kick is successful, and that will make the score on the end of the Irish versus Spain game 26-0 for the Irish. So whoever wins this game probably needs a relatively comfortable win. We're talking 14-plus points here just to keep them really in the hunt for that quarterfinal spot. The last game of this group, it will actually be Ireland versus USA, and that game could be the one that determines who makes it through to the quarterfinals. If Samoa win this game, theoretically, they should still be able to get through easily, but we'll have to wait and see. They're both sides making their way out onto the field. It's an absolutely beautiful day in Sydney at the moment. Almost not a cloud in the sky, other than right away in the distance. It's going to be a hot day in Sydney. You got to make sure that you do keep yourself well hydrated, because or else then there's going to be some very tired legs out there. I talked about Barrett and it was cool. George was chatting about how much. There's Brandon in there as well. The Samoans, I think. Valvasa Apasua is the player I've got my eye firmly on for this contest. He did have a rough game in that first match, like I mentioned, but it was more just the handling errors. He was in the right spot. The ball just wouldn't stick to the hands. So that is the main thing for him here. Make sure that you're catching that ball, getting it out wide, because when you've got Apilo Maleko, when you've got Tuitama, we didn't really get to see the full effectiveness of the way that that man smashes at the line. And I think we're going to see it in this one up against the US, which is just about to take place. Showing big Joe Schroeder, one of the largest players out there at the moment on the field, alongside David Still, and also, to a certain extent, you'd say Tui Tama's pretty solid in terms of the height factor as well. I mean, Aviemore, at the moment, watching my cousin on the jet ski, says Kiwi game, but it is going to be kicked off by the USA Samoa, looking to grab this one, and they've taken it nicely with Noah Levaia. Well, in fact, it was Letufia, sorry. Now Tuitama charges at the line. Good tackle made by Thomasine. Vavasa Afasua has caught the ball, which is more than he did in the game yesterday. Sounds harsh, but it is true, unfortunately, for the Samoa number one. Now Whananiko back across to Vavasa Afasua, looking to use their backline nicely here, but the USA normally very handy when it comes to setting up that defensive line and just not allowing sides to make a whole heap of possession. Or territory, I should say. Scanlon goes out to Pilomaleka, close to the touchline. He bumps off David Still, and that will hurt Still a little bit because he's a big man, and he went into that tackle thinking, oh, I'm going to knock him into touch, and he got sat down. It's going to be the penalty now in favour of the Samoans. Might have been a little bit of a late shot there on one of the Samoan players, and there is a big boo from the crowd at the moment. Looks like he is going to be staying down for a bit of time. We have Gamarino also. Hamish, yeah, must-win game for the Samoans for Amalosi Usos, says King T. Coming some Australia games, says Brandon. Are we talking rugby-wise? I believe the only game that we may be covering of the group stage for the Australians would be Australia-Argentina. That is if we get home from cricket in time. But at the moment, it's drizzling, so we might be home relatively early, depending on what the result of the game is, whether or not we get any play in, or whether it is just rained off. Tuna Tuitama gives the thumbs up. He says he's all right. He's a tough man, Tuitama. Won't be letting a little hit on the side of him be him stopping in this match. Whananiko going to be kicking it into touch now for the Samoans. Any height on that kick. Did get the distance down to about the halfway line. Got to talk to everyone in the All Blacks. Set McCaw. And we got Dan Carter in there as well. Now the line out for Samoa. Letufia. About to throw it in. Taking their time here. It's always one that you've got to make sure you're getting right, because when the USA are throwing Joe Schroeder up in the air, it's very tough to stop. Now, brilliant run from Scanlon. Charging up the middle. Steps around the winger for the USA. Now, Tuitama just gets driven into the turf by his own ankles there. A little bit rough, the turf down in that bottom corner by the looks of it. But now Samoa going to be going across to the right. Here comes Motu Opitai. One more. Pilomaleko in the corner. And Samoa, I believe that's going to be given as a try. They just want to check this one for a split and touch. I thought he was in by about a metre or two, but they will be just checking on it. Do you play for New Zealand cricket or just a club? Just a club. And also what happened if it rained, Hamish, they'll probably end up eventually calling it off. Yeah, in by an absolute mile of Pilomaleko. No need to check that one. And the Samoans will now take the lead. Did you see South Africa beat England in the first ODI? I actually haven't seen the result of that game yet, unfortunately. I was up for a majority of South Africa's innings, but I didn't get to see any of England batting. And again, morning, Hamish, how we doing? Says Spider-Man. We're doing all right. The bad weather here is a little bit unfortunate. It's supposed to be out and about throwing a ball around and also hitting a ball in a game of cricket, but doesn't look likely at the moment. We're still got to go down, though. And also I played for Hikurangi. Says it was Tamanui. The drop kick is unsuccessful from Samoa. And that is actually one of the talking points that we had after the match yesterday when they did play up against the Irish. They are leaving a lot of a lot of two-pointers out there on the field at the moment, unfortunately. So they need to get a few more of those in those big matches. You in Auckland are a lot further south, South Island, a few hours south of Christchurch. There's going to be a knock-on from Kevon Williams. The ball sits up, though. Good advantage from the referee. Rather than blowing it straight away, decided to wait and see what happened. Now Tuitama puts it in behind, waits for the bounce. It sits up for him, and he puts it down. Tuitama does score the try for Samoa, and they're on a bit of a roll here at the start of day two. Decided to use that advantage, went for the kick in behind, and David still trying to chase after it. He's normally got plenty of pace. Kind of just jogged after that one, though. He didn't have any chance of catching Tuitama. And I'm your biggest fan. By the sounds of it, you're in the North Island. So I don't think I've got a North Island trip planned for a little while. I believe we've got Auckland at some point. to do a couple collaborations, but other than that, I don't actually know when that has taken place. And also, you see the Sale Sharks Sparf game, just crazy, or just finished crazy, says Jack. I haven't actually seen that one either. Bulls and Stormers lost tonight heavily. Traveling and playing 2 tournaments is killing them, says Yari now. Although they're the sides that wanted to join the 2 comps, didn't they? So it's one of those ones that it'll be good for South Africa's depth eventually in terms of those sides, but they were the ones who said, we want to be in the Champions Cup, we want to be in the URC, we want to be in all your Northern Hemisphere competitions. So you got to talk the talk, you got to walk the walk as well. And at the moment, they don't seem like they're quite doing that. But it just depends on the week. They'll go fine in a couple of weeks' time. Are you going to my wedding anniversary? I probably won't be able to make it on the 15th. To be honest with you, that is only about 2 weeks away. That is going to be nicely done. Now, Va'a, Apilo Maliko. Going off to the short side here. 2.5 minutes left. Kicked him behind from Va'a, Apilo Maliko. Waiting for this ball to just sit up in the field of play. Grubbers it forward. It comes off the heel of the USA player. And now, no, it is going to be a USA lineout. Interesting. I thought it was off the USA player. We're going to see Falaniko running hard at David Still. Got driven backwards and then pushed into the turf. And where the F do I watch? So your best bet to be able to watch is on the World Rugby Sevens website. Is the best way of being able to do it. Also way better than Super Rugby, mate, says the Rugby Guru in there as well. Yeah, that's the thing. I feel like South Africa, they've got the chance of being able to grow a lot more with taking on those Northern Hemisphere sides. Definitely with the Northern Hemisphere World Cup coming up, they'll get a little bit of scouting coming in as well. Just on the 22 now at the moment. It is going to be Samoa. You have to defend this one. Little knock on the ground from Kevon Williams. And now Samoa, they've got the advantage. Motu Opitai. Lofted ball over the top to Va'a, Apilo Maleko. And now out wide, Bolvas Apaso. That was almost a tip tackle there. And that is going to be a yellow card for David Still. He just got a little bit too eager. Decided to flip up a little bit further than he should have. And Mano Boys for Amalosi says it was Tassi there. And did George go to the trash because he wasn't outside my gate? Nah, he just went home and slept, I believe. I went to sleep a little bit earlier on than myself. And also I have interviews tonight. Says Brandon there. And Sale 22-3 up. And then 27-25 down with 30 seconds to play. Bath in possession. Edge of Sale's 22. Sale win turnover penalty. Kicking to Bath's 22. And also we have got there with clock in red. I'd love to see New Zealand teams join for a World Club Championship. That I can definitely agree with. Like if we had, what would you do? You go top 4 sides in the URC, top 4 sides in the top league. Or the top 14, sorry. Top 4 Super Rugby teams. Do you put the Premiership in is the big question. Because they have been struggling a little bit in terms of those games up against other sides. And bro, I want to watch the game live. Check out the World Rugby YouTube channel or World Rugby Sevens website. Best bets to be able to watch the game live. You should be able to see it for free depending on what country you're in. If you're tonight, Hamish, the interviews, I will have the quarterfinals of the Sevens coming up and go Samoa Go. Says Epati in there as well. Now, David Still, he's been taken off the field for the 2-minute yellow card. Like I mentioned, so now 1 minute 15 remains. Samoa looking to attack, and they're currently 12-0 up over this USA side. So a great first half so far, but they need to keep that pressure on. The USA are a side that can score multiple tries in a hurry. They've got a few good players off the bench. I'd say Talapusi, a player to watch out for when he does make his way off that bench. New one between Ulster and the Stormers. According to earlier on, I think it was Ulster. But Falaniko goes straight through, and that will be another try for Samoa. That's their 3rd of the match now. Absolutely brilliantly done by Fa'afoi Falaniko. Finds the gap round the side of the scrum. Short pass from his team, Manu Samoa. And it is brilliantly done by the Samoans to be able to pick up their 3rd. Premiership definitely must be there, all about the money, says the Rugby Guru there. So yeah, I guess I'm trying to think of other competitions around the world. Like, I guess the Japanese League One, would they ever get a mention in there? Where else have we got competitions? It's most of them, isn't it? I think. Other than smaller competitions, of course. I'd love to see it. It would just be when they can work out, I guess, the best time to do it, I guess. And also, I'd like to see our provincial in South Africa versus the New Zealand sides, says Barry Green, or even if you can't get the Super Rugby teams, the New Zealand provincial sides, maybe, hear me out. Maybe Curry Cup versus New Zealand provincial NPC, something there maybe. And at least that way you get players who aren't in Super Rugby contract deals and it's at a different time of the year. I feel like that's probably their best bet. Now it's going to be a knock-on from the USA, also dropped by Samoa. So that will be halftime, 19-0 at the moment for the Samoans. Very nicely done. And no, not strong enough, Japan, says the Rugby Guru. Yeah, they probably heavily rely on the overseas players, but if it's during a international window, there might be 3 Japanese players show up. Is your cricket match off? At the moment, it's drizzling, so we haven't heard anything. My phone is over there, though, so I'm not too sure. It should still be there. We've got to go down anyway, I believe. Samoa are going to be on top. And they've started this match extremely well. And also, we have got there. What's up, my brother? What's Krakenus? Says, right, I always mess up your name, so I apologize if I get this wrong, but it is Fa'amasiona, I believe, something along those lines. I'm doing very well, mate. Excited for the quarterfinals a little bit later on. It looks like Samoa booking themselves a spot through to that round of 8. But the important thing is just keeping the momentum going in the second half. Get your points differential up if you're Samoa, because then if you beat Spain, or even if you lose to Spain in a massive upset, you've still got that differential to help boost you over the line. Samoa have improved in their rugby in terms of 7, says Barry Green. And yeah, I think the important thing for them was just getting back on the circuit. We hadn't seen them in action since the 2019 Sevens League, I believe. So it's good to see them back. They won their first title in 6 years when they were playing in Cape Town, almost underwater, that game in Cape Town. It was extremely wet. And also we have got there 4 URC, 4 top 14, 4 English Prem, 4 New Zealand, 2 Aussies, 1 Japan, and 1 MLR top 20. Says the Rugby Guru. And I guess, would you do it similar to the Champions Cup, or what the new Champions Cup sounds like it's going to be with like the groupings? Maybe either groups of 4 or groups. No, you'd have to go groups of 5, because groups of 4 make it very awkward trying to find quarterfinalists. Great to see you again, brother. Peace. And there's Fatmalosi Uso. And also, you should be out at the lakes today, says Kiwi Gamer. Is it nice out by the lakes? Currently, like, it was supposed to be cloudy here, but not raining. So I feel like someone mispredicted that one a little bit, but the second half just about to get back underway. Samoa playing Spain next. They certainly are. And go Manu from Auckland, says Talicia. Hopefully I've said that correctly. Now Samoa, kick it off high. Waiting for this one to come down. Beautifully taken almost by Noah Levi. He glided up there like he was playing AFL at the SCG, but unfortunately, the ball then went straight out of their hands. He did all the hard work. He got up for it, had it in his hands, and then Thomasin just ended up stripping it from him in the end to get the knock on. Did you guys see Flood yesterday? Nah, she was hot yesterday. I don't think we had a single drop of... Oh, no, we had a little bit of rain, didn't we? It was a weird day yesterday because it started off extremely warm, and then when I started live streaming, it started raining. You got a right pronouncing, I think that is, from King T there. Mike Friday, the USA coach, he won't be happy with this performance. They need some more points on the board. In fact, they need a point on the board would be a great start. But they've got position now for one of the first times in this matchup. We're getting to see the USA run at the opposition. Esdale manages to do very nicely. Almost turned over in the breakdown from Tuna Tuitama, but Thomasin looks to his right, decides instead to step off the right, head to the left. He's through a gap now. Thomasin, but Tuna Tuitama, his legs are just too long. Catches him before he reaches the 22. Going short side. Tupuola out to Perry Baker, who came up for the second half. Schroeder 5 out. Great work so far from the USA until Perry Baker flopped down over the breakdown. He can't say that it didn't happen because he was still lying there. Although it looks like he might have injured his shoulder. He looks like he's in a lot of pain at the moment. Perry Baker also just popped in to say hi. We'll chat soon. Hope so. Rugby Guru, hopefully we do get a catch up either before Super Rugby or, Six Nations is next week, isn't it? So some stage we'll have to have a catch up, see what's happening. I don't think I've had a chat to you since maybe Christmas or somewhere around there. And also we have got there go Manu, good luck also. And if Australia and New Zealand local sides could be in the mix of these Champions Cup, would be cool, says Barry Green. And also keep well, Guru, looking forward to tomorrow, says Barry Green. Okay, I do, says Tamanui. But it is going to be the Samoan quick tap. Or do they kick for touch? I think they're actually going to kick this one for touch. Samoa, smart move. We've seen them tap the ball before when they're only 5 meters out from their own line, and it has been extremely costly for the Samoans who's winning the Six Nations this year. For me, it's still either France or Ireland. Same contenders as last year. England, they've got the talent pool, but it's just the case of a new coach. Maybe they try a couple new things before they get to that Rugby World Cup. You don't want to give everything away before you get there. So, yeah, I think it's hard to say whether England are finishing even third or whether they're going to end up maybe fourth in the Six Nations, and maybe Scotland finish above them. And also go, Manu, shake and bake, baby, says Cliff. And at the moment, the Samoans are certainly shaking and they're baking out there in the sun. It's supposed to be about 25 or so degrees, I believe, in Sydney. That's going to be knocked back by Tupuola. The bounce of the rugby ball, not favourable. Knock on there from Paul Scanlon. Offloaded off, and here come the USA, their first try of the match, and it will be their number 8, Isdale, who does manage to score it. I was like, fourth, you're a wind-up, says Jack. I forgot you were English. I thought you were Irish for a second there, Jack. Where are you seeing them finish? Whoops. Coming up 5 from 5. 5 from 5 is very optimistic, but, it's something different for them. If they've had a bit of pre-season training and they're all on the same wavelength, perhaps they could go far. And the next comment, Super Rugby Australia, 28 today, yes, 2023, says Nichols in the Grand Slam, says Jack. And their first game, who do they play first? I know that they on Sunday morning our time, I think, for the English. I always get confused with Six Nations times, but they are always pretty much the same exact time, which is 1 on Saturday morning and then 2 on Sunday night / morning for us here in New Zealand. Thomas Seen about to kick this ball off. The USA get just a little bit back into this contest. 7 points to 19 in Scotland at home, says Jack. Nicely taken by Letufia, close to the touchline. Aaron Cummings not able to push him out. Samoa's still going to win. They've still got a good chance. 3.5 minutes left. They need another try, though, just to really seal the deal. Motu Opitai goes on the outside to Tuna. Tuitama tries to go through Letufia, but great tackle put there by Maceo Brown, although it was a little bit high. So the quick tap taken by the Samoans, trying to keep them under pressure. Kicked him behind. Almost half by taken out, but it's going to be a kick and chase. Here comes some pace from Samoa. Unable to quite grab it off the turf, though. And I believe that was Steve Thomasine who had to run back there and get it. Now, Joe Schroeder, here he comes, the big man in motion. Looking for the pass, does end up slipping over himself, unfortunately. Now the ball bounces out the sides. Motu Opitai has it there, thought about the offload. Kevon Williams joins it from the Samoan side of the breakdown. Now, going to be Nuelivaya. Got the space, got the offload on the inside to Letufia, but it's been put down. And now USA have got themselves the advantage. Ball on the outside from Tupuola. Now Aaron Cummings looking to go down the wing. Great one-on-one defense from Nuelivaya. Gets on the ball, gets the turnover for Samoa. This has been brilliant from them in the breakdown, which is something they lacked when they were playing in Hamilton. And now it seems like every breakdown they've got a chance. It's a foot race between Tuitama and Kevon Williams, and he wins it, Tuitama. And he gets another try. That's his second of the day. And he has been on fire for this matchup. He's now getting crushed by a Samoan teammate. But Tuitama does the grubber. It's actually a second kicking try that he's been able to get so far. Almost slapped away by Kevon Williams, but wasn't able to stop him. Slams that ball down and does celebrate a big time Tuitama for his Samoan side. You'd like to think now that they have secured this victory and all they need to just make sure they close out this last 2 minutes without any serious injuries, without conceding would be nice. Tuitama looks like his night is done, or his day is done, sorry. I'm used to watching games in the Northern Hemisphere. So normally it's night over there when I'm watching in the middle of the day. Samoa have made the most kicks in play this season with 41. Yet they probably have one of the lowest kicking percentages of getting it over the post. This game, they've got 3 from 4, which is very handy indeed. 90 seconds left. I see Paul Etty Slater out there on the field. Looks like he's got a bit of a strapping or a bit of tape across there, maybe cut his chin open at some point. Tuitama Daman says a Sungi. He's a very impressive player, a young prospect for the Samoans. They've said that one hasn't quite gone the 10. I would say that went about 9.85 meters rather than 10. Quick tap taken by the USA. This is all about points differential now. They'll know that they'll need a big win over Ireland if they do lose this contest to Samoa. So if they can cut down the winning deficit or the winning, what's the opposite of a deficit? The other part. Why can I not think of that word? There's a word for the opposite of a deficit, but I can't think of it, unfortunately. And also the Samoan flags, and also goes Samoa from Tom there. Now USA still having this ball, but a lot of pressure from Samoa. Back to their feet. Counter ruck, but the penalty goes the way of the USA. Unlucky there for the Samoans. Now quick tap taken. Drop ball by the USA, and things just haven't quite gone their way today. And little mistakes. You can see the frustration. Margin. One of the words for it. Yep. There's another word that I can't think of, but margin's a good way of saying it as well. A deficit and the other one. Currently 19 points surplus. That sounds a lot better. I think that's the one. Yep. I was trying to think of calorie deficit and calorie what, but calorie surplus. Yep. That is the one. 7 seconds left. Samoa feeding the ball in. Do they look to attack one more time, or do they just decide to kick this ball in touch? It looks like we're getting the answer to that question, although that ball has been thrown very wide. And now doing the Tuitama, he does kick that ball out, and that will be the end of this contest. But nonetheless, thank you all very much for tuning in. We will be back later on today for the quarterfinals, which I would almost say it's a guarantee we're going to see the Samoans in that one. But thank you all very much for tuning in. If you did enjoy, be sure to leave a like and subscribe to the channel. And I will see you all for the next one.